ready for this short webinar on Basic Project Designer. I'm going to show you how to configure an Echo Plus, one of our newest product members. This is the one, the Echo Plus with 8 buttons, with a backside with some RS-232 ports and an Ethernet connection, and of course some IOs for connection. In this small demo I will show you how to configure this with a small system. I'll just close my webcam and start the presentation on our software, Neets Project Designer. Neets Project Designer is our basic utility software for all of our control systems. If you look here on the left hand side, you have the Quebec 2 and 3, our fully automated control system, all configured in here in Neets Project Designer, and our 4-button control systems, the Bravo and Oscar, Echo and Echo Plus, where we start with 8 buttons, and the Sierra 2, which include a graphical user interface. Alpha 2 and Delta is our rack mount products, and also fully customizable graphical user interface on these. Today we will look at the Echo Plus. The Echo Plus is an advanced version of the Echo. The advanced consists of an Ethernet port. That's the main difference between the Echo and the Echo Plus. As you can see down here, we have 4 boxes. We have the new, I'll show you that in a second. We have some templates built in as well, where you can see how things are done. There are templates in almost all of our control systems for you to play with and configure from. I'll start with a new one. If I press new, I have 3 options. I can create a new, I can have a look at the manual. It opens as a PDF file, and the Neets manual for Echo Plus is opened. And as well I have Echo Plus on the web on neets.dk. It opens here, and on here you can find technical specifications, software to download, manual, video and FAQ. Very neat and nice to have in hand. I'll create a new, and we'll go to our workspace. Here in workspace, let me just zoom in on our control system. In the middle here we have our workspace. On the left hand side we have our devices. On the right hand side we have our properties. If I press the Echo Plus, I'll get the properties for the Echo Plus. Our system today is being configured with a projector and a screen and a level control and an amplifier. But in order to find all of these devices that we are going to put in our system, let me first show you the left hand side here. We have all of our devices that are in our catalog, and it's well above 2,000 devices right now. It's worth saying that if you cannot find the devices in the system, it is you can build it freely with our free tool called Neets Device Editor, where you can enter all of the RS-232 codes, Ethernet codes or infrared codes. But I've chosen some of the devices that is in our catalog today. Let's start with an amplifier. Here we have some of our manufacturers. I'll choose one of our own, the Neets version 2. And as you can see, I simply left click on the device, drag it into the system, and I can release it on a port, free port, or release it in the workspace on blank area, and it will jump right onto the first available port. As you can see here, the amplifier is quite smart because we have an RS-232 port on it, so we can loop through the port. This makes the installation far more easy. You have the echo sitting in the wall, and you have the amplifier sitting underneath a hidden ceiling or near the projector or wherever you want to place it. And from here you can find the projector. In this case I would like to find an Optima, and now I can find my Optima manufacturer just as easily by searching the device. In my case here I would like to choose the one called 515T, and again drag it in, and as you can see the LAN port lights up and the RS-232 port lights up, and the RS-232 port on the amplifier lights up as well. So if I drag this and release, I also get prompted with the selection to use serial, infrared or Ethernet connection. Press OK to RS-232 and it jumps right on the Echo Plus. But if I would like to have it on my amplifier instead, it's a simple matter of dragging and dropping the Optima onto the amplifier very easily. Now let's look at the properties. The Echo Plus has some properties on the right hand side here. If you press the Echo Plus, you get the name, you can change the location. In case you have many rooms and you wish to use Neets Central Control, which is a free piece of software from Neets, where you can monitor and control one room or several rooms at the same time. We have LAN settings, we have email settings. If you do not wish to use the default server, mail server from Neets, you can use the customer's mail server. It's also possible to see lamp hours and filter hours in Central Control, and here you can choose the lamp hours from the WU515T and the filter hours as well. I'll show you later what we can use these lamp hours for in feedback. Now in this workspace we design our system, so you can actually use this system's workspace for designing and see if it is possible to build the system you would like to build. This tells you if it is physically possible. Now I just deleted my search text. I'll show you connections. You can search by connections or sort by connections. Approval and sorting. You can sort by manufacturer. And then you'll have a list of all of the manufacturers in our catalog. Optima is open here. What I want to show you now is that you can add favorites. If you favorite Neets, you'll have most of the basic features that you need in your setup. Right click on Neets and add to favorites. You can add a whole manufacturer, or you can add a single product if you want. So if we expand, you can see Neets amplifiers here. You can see our switching relays. You can see digital inputs and outputs and analog outputs, 0 to 10 volts. We have screen functions, outputs and inputs, and movement sensor, and so on and so on. What I would like to put in now is the screen function. In this case I have a 2 relay box I would like to control, and I will put on screen on IOs. And I get prompted with a message where I can change the timings and for up and down of the screen. And it's simple, add some numbers or use the arrows. Press add, and you can see on the left hand side here you have the screen function. In the beginning I told you I would like to add a volume control as well. In Neets we have some expansion possibilities. We have a keypad and we have a level control. Keypad is just another 8 buttons. The level control is a turning knob. I'll show you the physical layout later on. And it pops right on to the Neets expansion Neets expansion bus right here. This is our design of the system. That's all we need for now. So very easily to also take this to the customer and show him how you have thought this out and show him how it's built. Let's go to interface. As you can see in the bottom row here, there are system, interface, function and feedback. And when we have gone through all of these 4, we can press upload on the right hand corner right here and upload to the control system. Interface. Interface is where we design the interface for the customer. So if your customer has specific needs, specific wishes, you can add them here. You can add any kind of text, any kind of symbol or picture to the 8 buttons that are freely configurable for your choice and your customer's choice. Let me show you. Let's start by adding some text. You can see the gray marked text here. If I mark it and write with my keyboard PC1 on the left hand side, I would like PC2 on the right hand side. If you press the text again, you can see the properties on the right hand side. PC1, you can change the font, you can change the size of the font, you can change the bold, or you can change the color if you want, center or right or left oriented, even the angle of the text. Up in the left hand corner here, it's very important to choose these 2 things, whether you want it horizontally oriented or you want it vertically oriented. And as you can see, the text disappeared from me because I changed the orientation. It's also important to choose the right model. We have an EU model and a DK US model. I'll choose the EU and just fast write PC1 and PC2 again. Now, let me show you what you can do for making this a bit more nice for the end user to look at. We have some features up here on the insert. In insert you can insert shapes, or symbols or images. Let's start with some symbols. I would like to add a power symbol. The power symbol pops right in here, and as you can see there are some red dotted lines for aligning the symbols to the text and the interface. These red lines you can turn on and off in the show, and you also have the possibility to put in grids if you like that. So let's carry on. Symbol. Let's find a mute symbol for the left hand side here, and again snap to grid. You can see the red dotted lines. I would also like on my 2 lowest buttons here, would like some manual screen control. Find a symbol for the screen. Find some up and down symbols. Start with the down symbol on the left hand side here. Put a up symbol on the right hand side. Now on this button I would like an aspect button for 16 by 9 or 4 by 3. And on the last button I would like a Chromecast symbol. I don't have a Chromecast symbol, so I'll have to put this in manually as an image. So press image, find the picture, and simply adjust the size and placement of the symbol. There you go. Easy as that. So now I have my label. What I can do now is go to interfaces and press print, and I get prompted with our standard print box. And what I would like to recommend for you guys is that you use transparencies. Clear plastic for printing, because this paper that we have put on the back side of our control system is the same color as the control system, and it's difficult to find the correct color of paper, so please use transparencies. It makes your day a lot more easier. Now we've designed our interface. What we want to do now is to put on functions on all of our buttons. This is of course done in function, the function page here, and our interface followed, of course, so we know what kind of functions to put on our interface here. In the right hand side we have our native keypad and we have a NEB level control. I'll get back to level control. Let's start with the native keypad. Go back. On our left hand side we have our two devices that we put in our system. We have our Neets amplifier and we have our Optima projector. And either one of them has source, power, level and control. Let's start with the Optima projector. Let's start by putting on some sources onto the correct buttons. VGA 1 on PC 1, VGA 2 on PC 2, and HDMI for the Chromecast. Now let me just show you something. Neets' philosophy for power on is not like the other guys do it. What we do here is we've put in some logic that says that when the projector is off, then power on. What that means is there's no power on button in our system. The power on lies on the source. All we're using the power button up here for is power off. So when we press a source button, we will turn the projector on if it's not already on. If it is already on, it will simply skip the first steps and select source HDMI. And in this case it will select source VGA and VGA 2, as you can see here. So far for the sources. Power, as I told you, we won't need power on, but we will need a power off. So drag power off and release it on the correct button. And as I told you, in interfaces we made a button called aspect. What I would like to do with aspect is to change between different states. Instead of having 3 buttons for 3 different aspects, I would like to toggle between them using our toggle function. So in the left hand side over here you can see all of the special functions we have that we can put on the buttons. We can add a mute function, I'll show you that in a minute, add toggle function, and add screen control, and send an email. I'll show you that in just a second. Add toggle function, drag this add toggle function to aspect button. On the right hand side in actions you can see the first button press and the second button press. Now what we want to do now is to change the aspect. In this case it's called format, and on the first button press I would like to auto format. on the second button press I would like 16:9. Press add, and now we have two states here. But I would like to put on another state, a third state, simply done by add toggle function, dropping it one more time on the aspect, and take a look on the right hand side of the screen, and we get a third button press. And now I can drag in the third aspect, 4:3, and choose the third time you press the button and press add. And now I have three states. So the first time I press the button, it will go to auto, second press 16:9, third press 4:3. Okay, so far so good. The next thing is the mute function. The mute function is actually also a toggle function, but what the mute does is that it mutes, of course, the projector or the amplifier, and it starts to blink with the LED. The LED starts blinking so that the customer knows that this system is muted. The toggle function on aspect won't make any LED behavior, only blink once every time you press it. But this will start blinking until you press it one more time or press one of the source buttons. So let's find mute in the left hand side here under our sequences. Mute on, of course just drag it on the button, choose the right state, press add, mute off, drag it in again, press mute off, press add, and now we've made a mute function. These are actually the functions that we want to put on our system for as far as goes with the optimal projector. Now let's go to the amplifier. The amplifier as well has sources. Drag source input 1, 2, and 3 onto the corresponding inputs. And as you can see, if I minimize the projector here, the Neets amplifier and every other device has this power on sequence built in. So if power is off, then power on, and select source input 3. Of course I would like to turn this off as well, so drag the off button to the off function to the off button. We also have some control for mute on. Drag that to the right button, mute off as well, choose the right states, press add. So far so good. Now what we would like to control now is the screen function. The screen function for making the screen go up and down lies down here on the left hand side. Let's start by adding the manual screen functions. Screen up, drag the screen control to the arrow up button. We have 3 button mode operation modes. We have pressing and releasing a button operates the function, operates while the button is pressed and stops when released, or my favorite, run for X seconds and stop by the second press before time has elapsed. This is a good one because you can stop the screen from going down and hitting a flower or a student or whatever you want to stop it for. Now let's choose run down for 20 seconds and press add. Again, drag screen control onto screen down, run for X seconds and run up. Run down. And I think I choose wrong over here. Let's just delete the button, clear button, and add screen control again. Run for X seconds, run up. I chose run down, that's my mistake. This was the manual screen control. Let's add screen control for the sources, because when I turn on my projector, and I just told you, the power on is on the sources. I would like the screen to go down whenever I turn on the projector. Now drop the screen control onto a source. And please notice there are two icons. There's a power icon and source icon on each of the buttons, source buttons. I will release it, and I get prompted again, and it already logically knows that you want to run down for 20 seconds. Press add, and please notice there are now 3 icons on every source. What this means, let's take a look at PC1. In our actions tree, there's a run screen down. If I press PC2, there's also a run screen down. So the screen function has floated onto all of the sources. Quite smart, yeah? Screen control onto the power button. Run up for 25 seconds, that's correct. Press add. The only thing I'm missing now is the volume control. The volume control is on the NEB level control. On the right hand side, interfaces, you can press NEB level control, and on the left hand side, find the level for controlling the Neets amplifiers found under control. The volume down is when I turn left, so put that on the left hand side here. Choose down, press add. Volume up, drop this on the up symbol, and it's chosen up, press add, and so on. And now I have volume control of my NEB level control. In the right hand side over here, you can find the adjustment mode for the amplifier. There are 2 ways, linear or compensation. I know for a fact that Neets amplifiers use a logarithmic scale for amplification, so we have to use this compensation mode in order to have a linear movement of the volume control. So press OK. These are the functions that I wanted to put on to my keypads and my level control. Very simple, very easy. What I would like to do next is to show you feedback. And by feedback I mean synchronization, I mean the two-way communication that appears between the projector or the devices and our control system. So when you have a control system and you also have the generic remote in the classroom, boardroom, meeting room, then you would like some bidirectionality. So when the customer presses the generic remote, you want the Neets Control System to follow. Let me just show you. In the left hand side we have our device drivers. In the middle we have all of our workspace where we can drop our input triggers, and the input triggers I would like to add here is the power state from the Optima. So when the customer presses power off, drop the input trigger here. If Optima WU515T power state, please select reply. I would like to, when the power is off, what I would like to do when the power is going off, I would like to make the screen go up, and I would like to turn off the amplifier and all of the possible devices in our system. So the easiest way to do that is just to press a button found here in functions, press the button, press the power button. Simply just press this once and press OK. So when now the power is off, then press button 5, and now the screen will go up as soon as the customer, the end user, presses the power button on the remote of the projector. Now, as I showed you in the beginning, there is something called filter hours and lamp hours on a projector like this. So let's take this input, this feedback, and put on this input. So let's say that this lamp has 2000 hours in it. I would like to receive an email, or the janitor or the person who has the service contract with the customer. So when we reach 1800 hours, it's time to order a new lamp. So what I would like to do is to send an email to myself or the customer. Let's just use mine here, support@neets.dk. Lamp hours in room 212. Let's add some text here. Change the bulb in room 212. And let me just show you something smart. We can add some dynamic content, so we can add the lamp hours from the projector. Press add, and if I want, I can even add some of the other dynamic content, for example filter hours. So perhaps I would change the filter as well on the same occasion. Just press OK. So now we have synchronization regarding the power, and we have the lamp hours. Easy as that. So just 2 seconds. Let me show you my webcam here again. As I showed you, we have our Echo Plus, and I have a small USB cable. Simply plug the two things together, and you should get a message on your screen of a little orange man down here, and we're ready to press upload. So as you can see, we are now ready to upload through USB, and just press start. And when this is done, you can go and install the Echo Plus, or you can take another Echo Plus if you have 10 similar rooms. It's a simple matter of pressing upload as many times as you need. Very, very easy and intuitive. Yes? So this is actually all there is to it. It's that easy. I hope you enjoyed this small webinar, and I hope to see you all again soon. And of course, if there's any questions, feel free to contact us at support@neets.dk, or